Peace to the cosmos, peace to the gods and goddesses, peace to the earth and peace to the soul tribe. Good vibes that stimulate your mind, body, soul, and your brain. Generate it, activate it, motivate it, and elevate it. Now that's game. So let it go with the flow and tune to the spirit. Listen with your third eye so you can feel this and hear it. Metaphysics and music, baby.
Metaphysics and that music, you know how we do it. More than just a podcast, it's a culture and a movement.
We do this for the tribe, we do this for the nation. It's all feathers up, so it's no hesitation.
Metaphysics and that music, you know how we coming. We killing ignorance, so you better get to running.
We been at war, and we still at war. They started civil war all over tribal war.
The music game is twisted, it's a dose of something real. My brothers ride with books that's equivalent to the steel. It's time to stand and fight, but it's also the time to heal. They keep trying to dim my light, but this fire can't be concealed.
Yo, metaphysics always been a thing. Metaphysics and music, that's our big bang. Oh yeah, we spin our mathematics like rosemary. Our words are aromatic.
Yeah, this that metaphysics and that music. Yeah, this that metaphysics and that music. Yeah, this that metaphysics and that music. We're more than just a podcast, it's a culture and a movement. Yeah, this that metaphysics and that music. Yeah, this that metaphysics and that music. Yeah, this that metaphysics and that music. We're more than just a podcast, it's a culture and a movement.
What it do, my brothers? What it do, my sisters? To all of my kin folks and my knee G's out there, you already know. Back at you again. What up, tribe? Yo, man, this gonna be part number 2 to part number 1 that I recorded a couple days ago and everything. Y'all probably wondering what the hell I'm doing. You know, it's part number 2. You know, like I said, in part number 1, it has been a lot of stuff that has been going on since the beginning. Well, actually, the end, damn near towards the end of last year, beginning of this year, and then right now. You know, I don't know. Well, we're officially in spring, but we're coming into summer soon. The summer equinox is coming around, so we're coming into summer. And it's been a lot that has been going on. I know towards the end, like I said, you know what I mean? Towards the end of the video of part 1, y'all heard me talk just a little bit about what's going on up there in Cincinnati. I'm about to hit on like so much shit right now. First of all, let me address something. And let this be known so this could be clear. It was, I don't know who the person was, but it was a person that had made a comment on what video was that? That was the video me and wifey had came together. We was talking about, that was the episode we was talking about Trump, you know, getting in the office and how people started losing their minds and whatnot, you know, losing their mind on both sides, Democrats and Republicans. You know, they started losing their minds, and you know, Effie and myself, we was only giving our opinion, and whoever the person was talking about some bullshit about no standing together don't mean y'all standing side by side. Motherfucker, I ain't say nothing about no. Goddamn it, we standing side by side. I said, listen, you get with a clique of people that you vibe with. You don't get with a fucking clique of people who you don't fucking get along with. That don't make no goddamn sense. But anyway, you get with a group of people that you vibe with, and it don't even have to be a community of 20 individuals. It could just be 2 people. 2. As long as y'all on the same page and y'all vibing on the same frequency and the same vibration, y'all can make any and everything happen and shake. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we was talking about. We weren't fucking talking about no staying hand by hand, goddamn it, kumbaya, and all this other bullshit, because all of that is about to lead into part 2 of this update. Now check this out. As a friend of mine used to say, drink break. I don't even want to talk about the Diddy thing. We pretty much see what's going on with that. Still, rappers are getting killed right and left. Rappers are still doing dumb, stupid, fucked up shit. I do want to touch on this though. Finesse 2 times. It's messed up. It's real messed up because of finesse, and you have to be able to look at it on both sides. All right, finesse was trying to look out for some a young man and trying to help a young man and help him along. Because at some point in time, basically, Finesse was looking at this young man as him as when he was that age, and nobody being there to look out for him, nobody to help him, nobody to give him some good advice. You know what I'm saying? That's something that we have a real bad habit of in our community. We don't tend to gravitate to the ones. I should give my wine on y'all to let y'all know how serious this shit is. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. But at the end of the day, he was looking at this young man as a reflection of him when he was his age. Now, see, I can relate to that because I didn't have nobody to help, to guide. Was it a lot of negativity? Yes and no. I'm gonna say that. Yes and no. Yes, my parents are in my life. My daddy passed away in '07. You know what I mean? Rest in power, pops. There you go, right there, right there, and right there. That's his dad, Granddaddy Pounds. You know what I'm saying? Rest in power, pops. You know what I mean? My father was in my life. I grew up in a home. Daddy was there. Daddy did used to whoop my ass. Daddy did used to check me. Daddy did used to say a lot of things to me. Some things that used to hurt me, and some things that used to help me. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I am here. I'm not fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. Yes, everybody still has certain things, certain problems, certain issues that they have to deal with, that they have to work through, and whatnot. That's the whole point of this thing called life. You know what I mean? The quote unquote, you live and you learn. A whole ordeal and whatnot. Yes, pops. He wasn't the best of the best, and he definitely was not the worst of the worst. He did everything in his power to provide for my sisters, my mother, and also myself. You know what I mean? So he did the best that he could do as a man, as a copper tone man, because the era that he was coming up in was way different. You know what? The more and more I kind of think about it now, it's just a tad bit different. The 50s, 60s, 70s, shit start to change just a little bit. Really in the 70s, he's definitely in the 90s. Like going into now, but the 50s and 60s, be a copper tone brother here on Turtle Island. It was a lot that was going on. It was so much that was going on at that point in time. It was like, it's just like in your face. You know what I'm saying? Whereas now, in this time of age now, it's not in your face. The only way how it could be in your face is if somebody is like that. They're recording you. You know what I mean? So that's the difference between kind of then and also now. You know what? I ain't did this in a minute. Hold on real quick, y'all. All right, y'all. We back. We back, fam. We back. I said, you know what? I was gonna do the tobacco pipe. Something like now. I think and I believe somebody up there is trying to channel through their grandson right now. It's kind of crazy because my mother, she said she's trying to call me my grandfather, the name that they used to call my granddaddy. They didn't used to call him daddy or dad or pops or whatnot. They used to call him my daddy. And she said, we all know you taking after my daddy and whatnot. I find that to be a compliment, but also a little bit of an insult. I'm not going to talk about that part. But the good part about my grandfather is when I was talking about my dad and him growing up in the 50s and the 60s, it's something that happened with my grandfather. And I never forget this story. In 1952, I'm gonna say around Sunflower, Mississippi, they was not quote unquote slaves. They were sharecroppers. So let me put that. They always been sharecroppers. I've talked to my mother about this. She talked to her grandmother. At that point in time when she was a little girl, it's no oral stories on my side, my mama's side of the family, whatsoever, of anybody coming in Turtle Island on the ship. What was said to her is, "We have always been here. We have always been here." So but anyway, 1954, they was out there, picking their cotton and whatnot. And I definitely got fired this shit up. And when he told me this, it didn't really dawn on me until this particular movie that came out. Do y'all remember? Well, I know y'all remember, but the movie Life, the scene where Martin and Eddie, they out there, digging and whatnot. And Martin couldn't take the heat, so he stopped. And Eddie was like, "Boy, you better get that pick swing." And he was like, "I'm hot." And he started taking shit off and whatnot. And words were said and you know what I mean? Well, that's exactly what happened with my granddaddy. Granddaddy had told me, that's a bill collector. Just to let y'all know how real shit is over here. But granddaddy had told me that he said the plantation's son, he was watching over them and whatnot. And he said, "Willis, you stop picking that cotton for?" And he said, "I'm hot. It's hot than a motherfucker out here. That's why I stopped picking that goddamn cotton." So at this point in time, this exact words that came out of granddaddy's mouth. 1954. Just keep this in mind. In Sunflower, Mississippi. Sunflower, Mississippi is a little southeast of Clarksdale, Mississippi. So we talking about some Delta, Delta people and whatnot, Choctaws and Chickasaws and whatnot. So anyway, I said, "Granddaddy, why'd you tell him it was hot?" And like I said before, my dad, he had gave me the nickname Keno. And granddad said, "Keno," he said at that point in time, he said we had overalls on, we had a sun hat on, and he said it's in the middle of summer in Mississippi. It's like 1,000 degrees and the sun is just beaming on you. And he said I couldn't take it no more. So the plantation son had asked him again. He said, "What you say, boy?" And my granddaddy said, "Motherfucker, you heard what the fuck I said. I said I'm fucking hot." So I'm and it's a reason I'm telling y'all all of this, because y'all gonna understand, and y'all gonna understand when I said maybe somebody up there is trying to channel through me, because my grandfather, rest in peace, Granddaddy Willis, he had a fiery soul. I'm talking about, he was a copper tone red man like myself. You couldn't just run fucking bullshit game on him. He kind of been there and done that. Man got like 20 fucking kids, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, he knew at this point in time that by him saying what he had said, that it was going to stir up some shit. So he went home, he told his mother, my great-grandmother, and he told his father, my great-grandfather. And they already knew what had to be done. So they wind up going into their piggy bank. They took all their money out, and they got my granddad a one-way ticket to Nebraska. I think Lincoln, Nebraska, and got him the hell up out of Mississippi. No, I am not from Nebraska, but they got him out because they knew and he knew what was going to come to be. And that next day, well, actually that next evening, that's when the Klan, they came by the house looking for him to, quote unquote, give him a example. Also, to let y'all know, great granddad, he did have that pistol on him. So it was going to be by any means necessary, with him, because that's his son. Like I said, I'm painting this picture for y'all so I can get into what I'm about to talk about. That's his son. He's going to do whatever he got to do to protect his son. So y'all keep that in mind. And this time of age that we live in now, if you have kids, you got grandkids, I'm pretty sure you would do what you got to do to protect your kids, to make sure that your kids is living more comfortable, more than you did when you was coming up, right? You know what I'm saying? So with all of that being said, oh man, I gotta hit this shit. It's crazy because something was revealed to me today. Well, before I get to what was revealed to me today, let me say this. Y'all don't really realize how much when you hear people talk about magic and casting spells and doing rituals and stuff like that, y'all probably think that that's a bunch of bullshit talk. And if you do think like that, I'm glad you do, because I am here to break some shit down to you, to let you know and to inform you. It's so much that you don't know. The English language and a lot of the words that we use from the English language are spells. You can, certain words, real talk, certain words, you can bless yourself. And you got to be careful with that word too, bless, because another definition is less. So you can be blissful, which means you can have a lot of, or you could curse yourself by saying certain words and whatnot. This language, the English language, is just like, man. Yeah, I speak a little bit of rare. It's called rare Latin, but I only do that when I'm doing what I do. You catch my drift. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, people for a long time that have been quote unquote running this shit, the ones that y'all think that are running it, that are not really running it, they like look like us, but they not us. They the ones that's running it. And I double dare you to go do your research on it. But anyway, people that y'all think that are running this shit and that are in control over everything, they have been using television, radio, newspapers, just telecommunications. They have been using telecommunication. See, I'm breaking this shit down to y'all. Telecommunication. Or tell live vision. You're gonna tell a live vision. You know what I mean? But anyway, I mean, y'all should already know this shit. But anyway, they do certain things to trigger you. And it don't matter how conscious you is, they trigger you. Some of y'all might say, well, if you have worked on yourself and you have blocked out all of the distractions and whatnot, they can't trigger you. These sons of bitches, they be finding ways to trigger you, and it's really, really sad. So here we go. Like I said, I had to paint a picture about granddad and whatnot, because it's gonna lead into now. Here it is. It's 2025. I'm about to be very honest with y'all. I might have been 13, 14 years old. I'm 46. I'm almost 50. I might have been about 13, 14, probably even 15 years old. That was the first time that I ever witnessed police beat up somebody. And it was in my neighborhood. And the crazy thing about it is, the person that was kicking people asses, he lived in our neighborhood. And he was the same one, he used to give us the dope to sell. And he used to kick our ass. Go fucking figure. But he eventually did get locked up. And it was kind of sad, because his son, went to school with us, and everybody in the neighborhood, we knew who he was. So it was like, once his dad got locked up, we started whooping his ass. You know what I mean? For all the ass whoopings his dad used to dish out on us. Now, some of y'all might be like, "Oh, y'all was wrong," but no, we, even to this day, I don't think it was wrong. It's justice. Now, I'm saying that lightly. It's justice. What is justice? I don't know. I'm not gonna sit up here and say Webster Dictionary says is this and says is that, and the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary says is this. I'm not about to do none of that shit. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know what justice, quote unquote, what the word means and everything, but in 2025, just keeping it real with y'all, it kind of seems like what we think is wrong is actually right to somebody else. Do that make any sense? What is wrong? What we think is wrong, somebody else think it is right. I'm real talk, I'm trying to figure that shit out. Like, seriously. Trying to figure it out. So anyway, that was around the first time where quote unquote police brutality. I've been seeing that shit my whole entire life. Even before my soul chose to come here into this avatar, it's been going on. It's been going on. And here it is now in 2025. Oh my God, man. So many brothers and sisters have been dropping like flies. Have some of them, don't nobody deserve to die. Now, some people, they do have it written in their soul contract to go out like that. So I'm going to put that out there like that. But does anybody deserve to go out like that? I'm going to say no. You know what I mean? Is it right? No, it's not right. But like I said, what I might think is not right, somebody else might think it's the wrong thing to do. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of them. What I think is right, you might think is wrong. And what you might think is right, I might think is wrong. So it's kind of like to each his own kind of ordeal. So my whole entire life, I've been seeing brothers and sisters getting their ass whooped by goddamn police officers. Okay? So that right there, that has always been the number one trigger in our community. Now, when I say our community, I am not casting out some good European folks from our community, because I grew up with some good European folks in my community. Some good people. I mean, real good hard working people. They blood, sweat, and tears the same way how my people and even myself blood, sweat, and tears. Even at this point in time right now, I do have some European friends and whatnot. They get out here, they work, they bust their ass, they do what they have to do for their family. You know what I mean? We don't look at this whatsoever. We don't do none of that. We look at, well, this is what I look at. I look at your heart. I look at your heart, because your heart is going to tell me what I need to know. And I don't judge nobody. It don't matter what kind of past you come from. When you come around me, if you are a genuine person, you want to see people win, no matter who they are, you want to see them win, and you want to help them win and whatnot. Yeah, I fucks with you. I got your back. And I ride with you. Straight up. So when it comes to that whole thing about race, even when y'all break that shit down, what is a race? Men and women, matter of fact, let's just do women. During the Olympics, women have the 100-yard dash race. They're running towards something. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's the same thing when it comes to the black, white, Mexican. That shit's even fucking confusing for me when dealing with them, because some Mexicans don't get along with some Puerto Ricans, and some Puerto Ricans don't get along with some Dominicans. But at the end of the day, y'all all Latino. That's one. And then two, some of y'all look at us like we the fucked up ones. But we all are in the goddamn same motherfucker melting pot. We all in the same pot. So how can you? I'm gonna leave that shit alone. But when it's all said and done, this whole thing about triggers and triggering the people in our community, and man, they are like really, really good. I mean, really, really good at. They mastered this shit. I mean, they have mastered They got, goddamn it, they got a PhD in this shit. They like the doctoring, the doctors of knowing how to trigger people emotions, trigger people physical attributes. Just knowing how to trigger certain things in people and get them going. You know what I'm saying? So that's just fucked up, man. The way how these motherfuckers they've been at this shit for a long time. I mean, a very long time, and they have mastered it. They are in my opinion, a narcissist, a true narcissist. It's an audio book that I forgot the author's name, but the title of the book, and I got, man, it's good. It's called the Dark Psyche. Yeah, Dark Psyche. And basically what it is, it breaks down all of the dark side of narcissists. It tells you how they think, certain words that they use, certain actions that they use. And then it even gives you examples of what media does. It gives you examples, and it tells you. When I heard it, I mean, the shit like totally blew my mind, because I was like, damn. I was like, I know they've been doing certain shit, to trigger us, but I was like, man, I was like, these motherfuckers is like, they on like the next level shit. It's like once we catch up, they didn't already, 10 steps more ahead and everything. This triggering shit with the media. I mean, I know some rappers gonna be mad at me. I don't give a fuck. Say that again. Some rappers are probably gonna be mad, upset at me. I don't care. I believe his name is Tyrese Nichols. The young man that they got beat to death last year in Memphis by the Scorpion quote unquote gang unit. Then we just recently had, I'm not about to saw this name, the brother up in Cincinnati that wound up, he lost his son to the police. They killed him, and then they didn't give him the answers that he was looking for, and the brother did what he did by taking another life. It's kind of funny. It ain't funny, but it's kind of crazy because I could swear I done heard, I believe in the Bible somewhere, a life for a life. Just saying. Don't get mad or upset at me. I'm not the one to write it in that book. I didn't write it. I'm just saying. Now, is it right that he did what he did? I'm gonna say no, it was not. But once again, like I said, what I might say is wrong, you might say is right. I'm just saying. I'm not sitting up here encouraging or trying to motivate. Well, I am trying to motivate, but I'm not trying to motivate nobody on the lines of propaganda. Anybody on the lines of, hey, we need to take to the streets and we need to do this and we need to do, no, I ain't saying none of that whatsoever. I will say this, when it do come to protesting, we need to stop that bullshit. Like protesting, it ain't never fucking helped. It ain't helped in the past. It definitely ain't helped in the past. It ain't helped in the present. And how is it going to help in the future? Because every time that we sit up and say, oh, we're going to protest, we're going to march, we're going to do this, the ones that's doing the shit is sitting back like this. They marching again, ain't going to do nothing. They ain't going to do nothing. That's what they doing. Now that's my opinion. Let me say that's my opinion. I personally feel like that's what they're doing. I feel like they're sitting around, they're saying them motherfuckers ain't gonna do shit. They ain't gonna do shit. Only thing they gonna do is march and sing kumbaya fucking songs and hope and wish and pray that some God, I ain't saying what God, but some God comes out of the sky and just snap their finger and make everything right. I just hate to tell y'all, we don't live in that kind of world. We don't live in that kind of reality. You know what I'm saying? If anything is going to happen, and it's fucked up for me to say it like this, but I'm going to say it. We're going to see aliens first and reptilians first, angels first, Anunnakis first, all kinds of different quote unquote ETs first before the God that y'all say is going to appear. I'm just saying. We're gonna see dragons first. We're gonna see gnomes first. We're gonna see fairies, a little tooth fairies first. We're gonna see werewolves first. Hell, some of y'all already seen werewolves. Some of y'all done already seen vampires. We're gonna see them first. But before that guy that y'all thinking and hoping and wishing and praying for come down. Cause I don't see it happening. I don't. And then the sad thing about it is, I just recently went to go see Sinners. Oh, it's a good movie. It was hell. I forgot his name, but the white boy, the Caucasian white boy, the head vampire dude, he even came out and said, you know, with this power that I'm gonna give you, you can do this and you can make that and you can change this and you can change that. Ain't nothing going to change. And all of this. Look how they've been doing your people for so long. And this is a vampire. This is a white Caucasian European vampire sitting up here telling some brothers and some sisters this shit. We're gonna see that shit before we see a guy come down and quote unquote try to help. So at the end of the day, the brother that passed away from Memphis, and I just found this shit out, and I'm like, wow. They moved the case from Memphis to Hamilton County. Now, y'all probably like, huh? So what? I live in Hamilton County, Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Hamilton County, and they moved it out here in Hamilton County. They held everything downtown Chattanooga, and it really disturbed me because they didn't have no copper tone, no Latinos, just all European jury, and they acquitted them. You know, and it's sad. It's sad for them, and I hope they do get this message. It's sad for them because, I mean, I don't personally know, but I have heard of some people that are kind of powerful when it comes to witchcraft, and they're gonna do some things and whatnot. See, physically, ain't nobody you got out free and whatnot. But you do have to go to sleep. You do have to go to sleep. And something that I do know of, it's called, you have astral traveling and you also have astral projecting. And if y'all don't believe me, it's real good book. I recommend. It's called The Holographic Universe by Michael Tappert. Read it. Blew my mind. Is different case studies, people that have actually, science has proven this shit. Astral projecting and also astral traveling. It's a difference. So keep that in mind. You know, but with the astral projecting, you know, it's basically you taking your soul, your spirit, and you're separating from this avatar in the sleep state. Now, in the book, the person from India, he was conscious. I mean, he was talking and everything, but he, you know what I'm saying, left his body, and he was over there doing all kinds of other shit, and people was like, man, how are you doing this? You know what I'm saying? The shit was crazy what I was reading. I was like, wow. But it's people that know how to do that and trust and believe. Only thing that they really need is a picture of your face, and they can visualize you and come straight to you in your sleep and fuck you up and do all kinds of shit to you. Who you gonna tell? Who's gonna believe you? You go and tell somebody, people gonna think that you're crazy. They're gonna be like, oh, that's not real. How's that possible? You know what I'm saying? And here's the crazy thing about it. It's not associated with voodoo or Vadon. Because people think, oh, you on the dark side when you messing with Vadon or voodoo. No, it's a science. That's it. It's a science. The same thing with hoodoo. If y'all know what hoodoo is, do your research on it. Definitely a lot of our ancestors practice hoodoo, believe it or not. From certain things that I've studied and went over, I was like, oh, okay. I said, Grandma used to do that. I said, I ain't know it. You know, at the time, I was like, okay. I said, she might not have known. But anyway, I ain't gonna talk too much about that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So with them officers, man, y'all time is coming, and then let me throw this out here also because my chief he had said something probably about a year or so ago, and he was talking about quote unquote national disasters, and he was talking about it was a tornado that wound up touching down. And he said basically, y'all do know that it's spirits in them tornadoes, in the rain. I hope y'all know that. I mean, like, I really, really hope y'all know this. This is no game. It's no joke. But anyway, and if you don't believe me, look up Bobby Emmett on YouTube. He got lectures talking about it. You know what I mean? He's talking about the three sisters. You know what I'm saying? About how I think they was like in the Atlantic or the Pacific. They was somewhere, but he was talking about how violent the hurricanes was getting. And when a lot of these national disasters happen, it be a higher entities that be in play. And when they come through, they're actually coming through to come to collect. In other words, have you ever heard the old saying, you are going to pay for the sins of your grandfather? You are going to pay for the sins of your grandfather. So y'all keep that in mind also. Certain cities in Turtle Island, it's been a lot of wrongdoing, a whole lot of wrongdoing. And I kind of hate to say this, but man, it's like that's Oklahoma always getting fucked up. Always getting fucked up. But then when you go back and you start looking at it, you like, what was going on back in the day to kind of bring this karma justice. That's what we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it karma justice. But what happened that Kalima came through? Segment came through and tore it up. What was it? I mean, we already know about Black Wall Street out in Tulsa. We already know about the Trail of Tears. You know what I'm saying? From the southeast, the mid Atlantic, the mid South. You know what I'm saying? To Oklahoma. We know about what happened. We know about all of the quote unquote the Jim Crow laws. We know about the abuse. We know about all of this. So it's like I just said, you are going to pay for the sins of your grandfather. So with that being said, I got some solutions. I've been saying it and I'm gonna keep on saying it. We as a people, we need to start to police our own communities. I remember growing up, that's how it used to be. They was not official. Oh man, damn it! What's their name? Because they all in New York City. I see them brothers all the time. I want Guardian Angels. I think that's their name. They used to have like a little red cap on and whatnot. But they used to walk around in certain areas up there in New York City, and they used to help people and whatnot. And I know, growing up where I come from, it was people in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? If something was to happen, you can go to them people and the results is going to get taken care of. You know what I'm saying? We need to police our own community. We need to look out for our own community. This ain't no we gonna stand shoulder by shoulder by y'all this and that, because let's keep it real. Some of y'all can't get along. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna say y'all. I can't even get along with all of y'all, because deep down, I don't come out and say it, but some of you motherfuckers ain't about the right. Y'all just is not about the right. And real talk, y'all might sit up and say he ain't about the right. So it's a mutual agreement. I don't think you about the right. You might think I ain't about the right. So there you go. So that right there, yeah, I ain't about to sit and get along with you and everything. But also at the same time, I already had to do what I had to do to make sure that I could stay alive as a young copper tone man. Now, I had to make sure I had to do what I had to do to make sure that my sons can stay alive. They're grown now. Now I got the next generation, grandkids. I got to do what I got to do to make sure that they gonna stay alive. A judge had said something during this speech, and it made so much sense. So much sense. She said they probably did not lock up the 5 black police officers because soon as they lock them up, if a white cop does something, kills a black man, they're gonna have to lock him up also. So you can't lock up one and don't lock up the other. So that's it's a political quote unquote thing that's going on. That's one thing. Then another thing is, and this is what I was talking about. Some of you rappers about to get shitty at me. Don't none of you motherfuckers want to come out and say nothing about what the fuck is going on in the neighborhoods? I mean, y'all talk about what's going on in the hoods, but y'all talking about that bullshit. I'm talking about y'all not coming out talking about what's going on with all of this bullshit that's going on. Y'all don't have no voice. Y'all don't have no backbone. Y'all don't have no spine. Y'all don't have no fucking balls. Y'all, I'm just gonna say it. Y'all pussy. Y'all afraid. Y'all scared. So guess what? Since y'all are not gonna come out and say nothing, I've been trying my best not to get back into the rap game. But I mean, since I've been doing a little managing here and there and whatnot, I'm in it. I'm in it to win it now. I've decided, fuck it. I'm gonna say something. Y'all don't gotta say nothing. Keep on being quiet. Keep on not saying nothing. I'm gonna say something. Because see, my daddy told me and taught me a long time ago. He said, son, if you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything. And I refuse to fall for anything. Especially in this time of era that we're in now, this 2025 era, this time frame. Now, the Pisces era is done. It's over with. We're going into an Aquarius. It's time for change. Everything else is starting to fall and crumble. That's just like I can't even say the brother name, but it's a oh my god, Hebrew. I think that's his name. It starts with an I. It's like an I-B. He's a president of this African country. Man, they do not like his ass. They cannot. He told the French government to get the hell out his country because the French government has been raping and taking all of the minerals from his country. So guess who got all the minerals now? He do. Him and all of his people in his country. And he's starting to unite a lot of the countries in Africa. They have tried to kill this man 19 times. 19. Still alive. I listened to one of his speeches. The man is very conscious. The man is very aware of what's going on here on Turtle Island and also over there. And guess what? That's something that they fear. The brothers and sisters over there uniting with brothers and sisters here on Turtle Island. Because the thing is, you have to be able to go to the resources if you want diamonds, if you want gold, if you want certain precious metals. Guess who got it all? They do. Oh yeah, they do. So this is a whole lot more bigger than what a lot of y'all think it is. I'm tired of hearing brothers and sisters getting killed, being murdered by law enforcement. I'm tired of it. I really am. It's real sad because you don't wake up and say, oh, today's the day. You know what I'm saying? We don't wake up and like, oh man, today's the day. No. We don't wake up thinking like that. We want to make it back home to our family also. The same way that you do too. You want to make it home to your family also. No matter if it's a man, a woman, a goddamn dog, a cat, a lizard, a snake, whatever the fuck it is, you want to make it back home to your peace, your kingdom, your domain. You know what I'm saying? Just like everybody else. So it's sad, man, because man. And they had the goddamn court thing out here in Chattanooga. And couldn't find not one copper tone brother or sister in this county. See, me and my homeboy Dreads, shout out to my homeboy Dreads. Dreads He's from New York. He's from Brooklyn. Really, he's not from New York, but I just go along with it. He from Brooklyn, right? And first time I met him, I was like, it's like, yo, I was like, what part of New York you from? He was like, Brooklyn. And I was like, yo, we're at in Brooklyn. And he told me, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, yo, I used to live in New York. I was like, yeah, be around there. He's like, word? I was like, yeah, yo. I was like, yo, I lived there, from this time frame to this time frame. Lived on the east side of Spanish Harlem, west side of Harlem. Lived in South Bronx. Matter of fact, was in a room and boarding house between 164th or 100 and College Avenue in the South Bronx. I was right down the street from Yankee Stadium, old Yankee Stadium at that. Used to be in Queens. Used to go to Brooklyn all the time. I had a homeboy, Bubba. He was a half Jamaican, half Haitian, and he lived in Brownsville. So used to be in Brownsville. Used to be in East New York. Used to go out to Long Island. I mean, I used to be up in Westchester County. I mean, so you know what I mean. But anyway, talking to him last weekend. Yeah, last weekend. And he said, yo, son, he was like, yo, Kane. He said, Chattanooga. He said, I don't know what it is. Because now y'all might be like, y'all motherfuckers be on some other shit when y'all talk. But we was talking about meat markets. We was talking about meat markets and fish markets. And the reason that we was talking about meat markets and fish markets, because I was like, yo, son, I was like, they don't got no like meat markets out here. I ain't seen no fish markets out here. And we was like, yo, back in New York, they everywhere. And he was like, yeah. And we was talking about how you got like the Jewish meat markets, you got the meat markets, you know what I mean? And then you got the produce, then you got the fish markets. I was telling him, it's like, yo, I used to go to the fish market all the time and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Used to go to the produce market, get the fresh fruits, fresh vegetables and shit like that. They don't got none of that. And he said, yo, son, and I believe him now. He said, yo, son, he said, it's a lot of politicking going on here in Hamilton County. He said, there's certain things that they will allow us to do and not do. Fast forward to what I seen earlier today, and they was talking about it was not one Coppertone person that was on the jury. And the father said it had to be some politicking going on. And when he said that, the light bulb had went off of my head. And I said, wow. I was like, me and Drez was just sitting up here talking about this, about the politicking that goes on here in this city. It's a beautiful city. Beautiful city. It's a lot of politicking going on now. Like I told him, it's almost like the city of the haves and the have-nots. Either you have or you have not. That's just crazy. So once again, fam, we need to start looking out for our own. I'm not sitting there saying like I know there's some motherfuckers, you ain't gonna help and I ain't gonna help. You know what I'm saying? Look out for who you can look out for. Even if it's just one person that helps, because when that one person helps out another person, then that person turn around and does the same thing for the next individual. And it's like it's a domino effect that starts to happen. You know what I'm saying? Where anything was to happen, we can automatically step in somewhat. Because I got to be careful about what I'm about to say now. You have to be somewhat step in, somewhat like the Black Panther Party, and say, hey, we'll, even though we know what's going on behind us, we'll know what's going on. So, boom, y'all gone about your way and we deal with that shit, but also at the same time, some people get a little ego trip and power and whatnot. So that's what I'm saying. It's a very, very thin line. But we have to do something, y'all. We have to. All of the uplifting, motivating people that put shit out here on YouTube. We can talk about this shit till we blue and black in our face, but the us just doing the talking, it ain't doing shit. It ain't doing shit and it ain't doing nothing. So you, the people that's actually listening, the people that's actually watching this, y'all got to do something. See, I'm playing my part. I'm doing the best that I can do. People that I see that I can help, I help. Straight up. Once again, I got let this be known. Some of y'all are going to pay for the sins of your grandfather. Your grandfather and their father and their father, them motherfuckers wasn't about to right, and they got over it for so fucking long. It's a wrap. It's a done deal. Well, what them youngsters be doing in them rap videos? They be going out like that and whatnot. Hey, it's over for y'all. It's over. These little young ends is a whole lot more wilder than me and my boys when we was coming up. They got shit on guns that I just found out. I was like, damn, you could do that? I think they call it a switch or some shit. Yeah, you know what I mean? They on some other shit. Hey. And Pac said this. He said this a long time ago. He said it's a million motherfuckers that think like me, and he's absolutely right. So you rappers that don't want to say shit, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Stay where you at. Stay in your little cubby hole. Stay comfortable. Don't say shit. All right. I'm gonna say something. And with all of that being said, fam, hey, as always, peace, love, and joy. Holla.